Hey, you want to witness some history? Okay, back in the day, George and a few of our founding fathers had hemp farms. Yeah, a president grew his own. Look it up. It was normal. But you know what isn't normal? America's 80 years of unjust prohibition, which hasn't made us any safer. And then there's this. They came up with policies like stop and frisk, where anyone can get searched at any... All right, I'm getting a little off track, but the point is, these punishments have been harsh. Like 25 years in a prison, harsh. That's madness. Speaking of, you remember this classic bit of propaganda? Madness? How about wellness? How about everyday good people are using it to calm their pain, their stress, their anxieties? And a product that drove people to the black market is now creating a new global market. That's a lot of jobs. And the same thing that inspired the creators, the makers, and the disruptors. The symbol of counterculture is, at long last, just culture. It's normal again. Here's to the new normal.
We're a multi-state operator, vertically integrated. We have licenses for over 70 retail dispensaries and more than 15 cultivations and more than 15 processing facilities across the United States.
They are improving people's lives through the goodness of cannabis. That's our tagline, that's our business direction. And we do that through 3 different business units. So we have retail outlet stores, which you know about. We have them in Arizona, a number of other states, and we're expanding those. The number of stores we have licenses in states. So then we have cultivation, where we grow the cannabis plants. And then we also have a manufacturing business unit that takes the cultivated plants and creates distillate, which is an oil-based product that is used to produce vape pens and other products. Turning point in Harvest history is in 2018. The company went public on the Canadian stock market, the CSE, and because of that was able to raise a significant amount of capital. These are all publicly available information, figures, but so we raised about $220 million in cash on the capital on the CSE market by going public in Canada. And we went public in Canada because the business is still federally illegal in the United States. Like any large growing business, the access to capital to continue the expansion is critical. So starting off with the $220 million that we raised in Canada, we've also done a couple of other equity raises, and we've then, now because we have publicly traded stock, and we use that as currency, so we can do acquisitions. We announced an $850 million all-stock acquisition earlier this year with Verano out of Chicago. So we'll use that access to the capital to do major expansion across the country in this year and in 2020. But we have recently implemented a system called Microsoft NAV. NAV is a Dynamics type of product. And so that is our ERP. So we are running all of our accounting and finance systems on that. And then we're implementing processes to automate cultivation and manufacturing onto the same system, so it'll be end-to-end. So mainly their corporate social responsibility programs have been sort of, one-off types of things. The company does through an organization called Harvesting Hope, and that supports people that have the need to access CBD and that kind of thing. And then the company is now implementing a program, a full-on, full-scale, one that matches more the size of the company. The biggest challenges Harvest has as a growing organization is, the fact that the product is illegal and we can't go across state lines, so we can't do distribution and, that kind of stuff. So we have some unique challenges that everybody in this industry faces. And because of our growth, that's a challenge all by itself, to grow efficiently and, make sure you have the right folks in the right seats. In order to, keep an eye on that and make sure that the ship is steering in the right direction, we have hired a number of high-level, our COO and our CMO and our all those folks are very business-centric and, have run very large corporations. So we are looking to them to help us put all of the structure in place as we grow. 65% of the population now believes that cannabis should be legal. That doesn't mean that it'll pass in all states as a non-medicinal but adult use product. But it's going state by state. So there's a process, and not all of the states even have medical use yet. But at some point, the federal government will decide that it's time to take it off the Schedule I, right? It's right next to heroin and, those types of really horrible drugs. And so it doesn't belong there, and there's increasing momentum to change that. And so I think in the next, 3 to 5 years, there'll be significant changes in this industry. The other significant advantages that Harvest has is that we are very good at winning licenses when new locations open. So, for example, when the county by county decides whether they're adult use or not. When Santa Monica County put out, that they were going to accept license applications for adult use in that area, there were only 2 licenses available, and Harvest won 1.
Our analysis shows that Harvest can use its licensing ability and stock capital to expand to open new facilities nationally. However, many banks will not do business with them due to the volatility of the industry, which hinders their ability for growth. Job creation and the carousel of laws will ultimately create a massive opportunity for Harvest to give them a leg up in the industry. They must be careful of other industries and consumers looking for alternatives due to preconceived notions about cannabis. To follow through on their awareness expansion, they must take into account that there could be taxes levied, which will hurt the market. Awareness creation will show naysayers about the benefits of the products produced and will hopefully show a change in consumer lifestyle. Years of research and technology has shown the ability to alert people about how cannabis is in fact a healthier substitute than that of certain prescription drugs. Geographical climates could be a problem for expansion throughout the U.S. Many colder climates will not grow the product as well as warmer climates will on the West Coast. Until cannabis is decriminalized in the U.S., Harvest will continue to have major hurdles for awareness and expansion as they wish to enter in as many markets as possible. In our interview with Ms. Sweeney, she said the volatility of the cannabis industry is a major factor when producing future forecasts. She mentioned they can only project into the year 2020. These 2 charts from the IBISWorld.com show the cannabis industry growth from a revenue standpoint and can give a general guideline for Harvest's future growth. Here are the major players that is Harvest's direct competition. They are Curaleaf and MedMen. Both companies are vertically integrated with similar objectives as Harvest. All 3 have immense licensing ability, which shows why they have very similar ratios. The reason for the negative ratios is due to the continuous expansion resulting in high startup costs. To create awareness about medical cannabis, Harvest should expand on their socially responsive structure. Their Harvesting Hope nonprofit creates awareness and provides a positive impact on someone's life in their local community in Arizona. They need to use their other states they are licensed in to create more social awareness about the positive health benefits of Harvest and cannabis. To expand on the recreational market, They must keep up to date with compliance laws so they can expand into new geographical areas throughout the U.S. They must also look out for existing rivals, as they will all be competing for the same target market. Many years ago, people looked at cannabis in the same light as any other type of drug. You would be labeled a felon and could be incarcerated for consumption or possession. With industry awareness improving every day, our group has seen how Harvest has been able to overcome the barriers, technologies, biases, and assumptions by improving lives through the goodness of cannabis.